Welcome into Sports Game. My name is Derek Clyburn, and once again joined by John Felipe. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Hey, I still Nixon five. Forever.
Ah,
It's forever
you
Nixon
predicted
five.
it; it came true. You
I
predicted it;
love
it
it.
came true.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing too, because they were trailing that game, just like they were trailing
Yeah,
the previous game.
pretty much every game of that series they were
I know.
losing.
I was gonna say. Right.
Yeah, so it showed that resilience throughout that series. We were able to come out on top. That was great to see. But man, we since the last time we spoke on here, man, two champions been crowned:
That's
the
right.
Carolina Hurricanes
Hurricanes too. Look at
and the
that.
New York Knicks. Both like saying, taking away their ending the droughts. I mean, Carolina Hurricanes had 20 years since the last time they won their last title, and the Knicks had 53 years since the last time they won their last one.
That's right.
So
Yeah, 53 years. It was Jeff Lindsay was the mayor of New York at that point. Crazy, bro.
it's insane to think about. I mean, so many like you know, can only imagine what the fans have all been through since that time, all the ups and downs of the teams, and different things of that nature. But they finally came up. They finally back on top. So that's good for them and their
Yeah,
fans, and I could even say maybe even good for the league too. But
yeah.
man, like I said, the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll start off with them a little bit. They won like in what 6 games over the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So, just the Vegas Golden Knights, not even Las Vegas Golden Knights. But those last couple games, they kind of like show like the team that they really are. Just dominating kind of. I mean, they shut them out, shut the Golden Knights out in Game 6, and were able to put it away. In Vegas. After the first couple of games, they were kind of like down a lot, so they were
Yeah.
able to come back and make those games
Yeah,
look
they
better.
were kind of similar to the Knicks, where they had to kept coming back from there's a snatch victory from the claws of defeat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy because that I think the craziest game is that one game they were down like 4-0 in like the third period. It came all the way back to finish
Yo,
the
and then
game.
they ended up losing that game. I wanted them to win so bad. That would have been the biggest in NHL history, which a
I
history I'm
know.
still learning about, but still, that's incredible.
Yeah, that was an incredible game. You heard like you hear the pundits talking about because they're more familiar than experts at this stuff. They're saying, man, that was one of the best games they've ever seen.
Yep.
This is one of the best you know Stanley Cup Finals they've ever been a part of. You know,
Three scores in the third period, which is
yeah,
like the fourth quarter in football, or basketball. Like
yeah,
three to tie it up to even get to overtime.
right.
That's three touchdowns. Like with very little time to go.
Yeah, that was incredible to see. Like I think they scored like three goals or like I think it was like 90 some seconds or something like that. It was crazy to think about, crazy to watch and experience, especially as like a
Yeah.
you know a fan that's not like watching like hasn't watched a lot over the years. You just like kind of like just jumping in just because the Carolina Hurricanes are in there. You're trying to root for your
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
team. Yeah, it's pretty cool to experience. It makes you think you might need to watch a little bit more hockey just because you see how fun it can
Oh,
be when
I'm right there with you, dude. I'm literally thinking like, okay, this is my foot in the door. Now I'm
yeah,
gonna like follow the draft and see what's going on and just learn a little bit more and more each time. You don't need to know everything that's going on. You
exactly.
get the
Yeah,
gist of it.
yeah,
Like so it's fun to kind of like pick up things along the way. It's kind of what I've done with basketball over the last like 5 or so years. Like I didn't grow up really watching basketball like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it definitely comes with the territory. You just learning different things, like as you continue to watch and you continue to enjoy and like experience like the different, I guess, the greatest moments in the sport. Like just seeing it at a high level,
Right.
getting the experience. Like, okay, this is what it takes to get there. Like, okay, cool. Now you're ready to see how like a team is built, like the roster building and how they can even get put pieces together to get to that level. How did they get here? And how the regular season goes, the up and downs of the regular season, because they play a lot of games in the regular season. So
That's right.
something to think about. But man, the Hurricanes, I mean, they had a pretty dominant, I would say, playoff run. They had a 16-3 record in the playoffs.
both the Knicks and the Hurricanes had like historic runs. I believe there was a statistic where percentage wise, if you just take the NBA playoff run and the NHL playoff run and like their eventual champions and look at their win to loss record, it's the highest in almost 50 years
That's
in terms
crazy.
of just pure victories throughout the playoff runs.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy to think about. Like I said, I think they said it was the second. Let's see what it said. The second best record in NHL since they moved to like the best of seven since 1987. So that's interesting. I mean, that's a great accomplishment for them, and I think you know they're gonna be in the mix for the next few years. So it'd be cool to see like have a team to root for that's actually in
Yeah.
a contender. So I definitely will help with our
Yeah, it's a
youth
fun way to get into
NFL
hockey, right?
fandom. Right, exactly, exactly, man. And then, like I said, the Knicks they did the impossible. I think. I mean, nobody expected the like New York Knicks to win the championship coming to this year. I mean, people even when you thought that they were the best team like in the East coming to the season because Boston was injured, Indiana was injured, they both had Jason Tatum injury, the Achilles injury with Jason Tatum, the Tyrese Halliburton injury, Achilles injury. So he was like, "Oh, the East is wide open." Even with that, we still was like giving like the Knicks like the side eye. He was like, "Man, we don't really believe in the Knicks 'cause we see them like falter, these type of moments before." This year, they changed that narrative. They changed and everything. I mean, they just had everything they needed to win this championship, and they accomplished it. Man,
And they got
it was
Mike Brown, right? That's the
yeah,
head coach.
Mike Brown. After firing Tom Thibodeau last year, they got Mike Brown in there. He was able to, use more of his bench. I mean, help the offense become more, team centric rather than Jalen Brunson centric. Like more players were getting involved. I feel like the team just played team basketball. I feel like the ball had energy out there on the court. It was just moving to the open man, and they were just taking the best shots, and they were hitting shots. Like I said, the resiliency, the toughness, the tenacity they played with, the teamwork. I mean, just the unselfishness they had. You could tell they were playing for each other. They had like a culture. They had a system that everybody bought into. They're just able to put it all together out there on the floor, and they believe. Even when they were down. I mean, they had like a 29-point comeback in game two. Was it game three, which was crazy. I mean, or was it game four? Game four, I believe it was.
Yeah, the
Where
comeback.
the Knicks came all the way back. I think they were up like the Spurs were up like 29, like I forget in the third quarter, and they would just chip it away the lead. Knicks would just chip it away the lead, and it was just like once it got down to like I would say single digits, y'all pretty much knew it was a wrap because it was just like they have all the momentum now, and Jalen Brunson has been one of the clutchest players over the last 3 or 4 postseasons. So you knew once if he got it close, he was gonna be able to make those clutch, timely baskets.
I mean, that OG Ananobi hand to
Tip
God,
in.
like that that putting in of Jalen
Yeah,
Brunson's
so
three
good,
pointer,
man.
bro. That's like an all time moment right there.
That was I mean that was cinema what happened. I mean just the way he was able to the way he
Absolutely.
jumped into when he was able to come in there, get you know nobody boxed him out. So he's got like a running start from the 3 point line, was able to time his jump and tip the ball in at the right time, right over the defenders. I mean that was incredible. you know. And it just goes to show you what type of team the Knicks are. I mean, they're resilient. Like I said, they persevere through any type of adversity. They never give up. They always believe they can win. We saw that with the Cavs game too, when in game one of the Eastern Conference Finals when they
That's
were able
right.
to come back
Came
from
back from that
22. And there was like 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They were down 22 and came back. I mean, like I said, all postseason long, the Knicks would just believe that they can win any
one. They
game.
were the real cardiac cats this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so many great things that from the finals. Um, and this year, I mean, this marked like the eighth consecutive season that the NBA has had a new champion. Like it has been no repeats for eight seasons in a row. I think
Yeah,
last
that's
team to
veteran
go back
in
to
the
back.
league.
I know, right?
After a back and forth, bro, I got into basketball a little bit watching LeBron,
Yeah,
and like just seeing the Heat and like how they played together, but like the next like 5, 6, 7 years after that, it was like the same two iterations of the same team, like over
Yeah,
and over and over again. I was just like, and then the Hornets were horrible too. So I, like, it didn't give me any reason to really like be engaged like I am now.
yeah. It was like it was either like it was the Spurs or the Warriors or the like
Spurs,
LeBron
Warriors, or
team
the Cavs when LeBron got there, or the Heat when he
when
was on
LeBron
the
was
Heat.
there. Yeah, so it was like pretty similar to that. Like I said, so now the parody. I mean, the parody is just cool to see. You know, TV starting
Sometimes
to
you
like
get
gear
fun
up.
teams like the Dallas Mavericks, which I was not happy that they won at the time, but
Oh
now
yeah, definitely.
in retrospect, I'm happy they won. You
It
know,
was a cool run. Looking back on it, it was a cool
yeah,
run.
it would be more, like, what does another ring for LeBron really mean for his legacy? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I think that at the time we
it
were
mean,
rooting so hard for LeBron to get one just
yeah,
because
yeah, that's what it was. That's why I wanted it. Like, and now in retrospect,
because the way the media had like turned
yeah,
against him. It was kind of like he was like they're like trying to root against him, kind of like type
yeah.
of thing. And like he did win,
And then
but
he
now,
ended up getting his the next
yeah,
year.
yeah,
And the one after that, which was probably his craziest one besides his 3-1 comeback, the one against
yeah,
the
yeah,
Spurs with the
yeah.
Ray Allen step back three.
Oh yeah, those were incredible moments for sure. Like, but man, like I said, like now you're seeing like different teams gearing up every single year. It's almost like unpredictable it's hard to predict who's gonna win from
Bro,
year
the
to year.
Hornets looked like, I was thinking, no, it's not going to happen. But in my mind, they looked from like January to like March, like, oh, well, they look like the best team in the league right now in the
Yeah,
association.
yeah, man. Maybe this forces teams to like make moves, go all in, type of moves. Maybe they
Well,
see like,
I don't want the Hornets. I want the Hornets to go all in terms of their scouting and their confidence, but I really would not want them to trade any of our young pieces for like a win now superstar. You know,
yeah,
there's been some attachments to Giannis, and I would love to have Giannis, but like, what do we have to give up for him? I'll give
yeah,
picks, but like, I don't know about like players. You know.
yeah. I see like one like that had like Anthony Davis like tied to it, like tied to Anthony Davis, where they didn't have to give up any like young players, but it was like a first round pick and like Miles Bridges, so which wasn't too
Oh,
bad.
that I would do. That I would do. But
Yeah,
still, Anthony Davis is like one of those like players that is
yeah,
not
he's
really
injury prone. Yeah,
and a little ahead of schedule. Like,
yeah,
I think that would be more of a plug and play now. I would love to see somebody like Kobe White, how he came in and grow with the team, you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they could find someone like that too. I mean, I like
Yeah,
that move
that's what
better.
I'm saying. It could depend on the draft. Like if we feel like believe in somebody, that would be cool too.
Yeah, I think you do have to have players with experience. Like we seen it because we saw like how good the Spurs were, but the experience factor definitely hurt them in the long.
It was kind of
Like
crazy how the experience really, like, I mean, they was just gaff after gaff sometimes.
yeah, it was like mistake after mistake, this bad play, like no one to calm like the team down and help them get great shots or like slow the game down. So or even the coach didn't know what he was doing because of how young he was. It was just like it was all new to them. Like everything was just new to them, and it's like because of their youth, it kind of cost them. At least like even if they wouldn't have won the series, I think it could have went longer. The series could have went longer if they had just had like a veteran like here or there, like just calm the team down.
Right.
But like I said, so it definitely like even if they're not ready like this year, like maybe they go after it maybe a couple years down the road, like maybe they'll be more experienced and then like the Hornets will have a couple playoff runs in them, and then maybe they're ready to make that move for like a older player to help get them over that hump, get into the finals and win it.
It would have been nice to have a little bit, kind of the way that the Panthers got their game against the Rams. Like, it would have been nice if we got that second play and win.
Yeah,
It would have been, just a thing to have the group build on. But I do believe that the Hornets have the capacity to kind of wick, like flick the wick and light up on fire.
Yeah,
because they showed the capacity like for months, like in January, February, and March. So
yeah,
I I I think like they might be able to get in and immediately make an impact, even though the experience, because the experience matters. But I'm happy with the progress of both teams, of really all the teams we've talked about. I feel like the progress is on the up and up.
yeah, man, for sure. And like this series, man, I gotta say, like Jalen Brunson has had like an outstanding, like his story has been so cool to follow. I think because like in college he won championships with Villanova. He came into the league. He was like a second round pick.
With
You
Paul
know,
Bridges and Josh Hart.
yeah, he like Jalen Brunson was a second round pick. You know, he wasn't really seen as like this player that could lead a team to a championship. He wasn't really seen as like this superstar player. But you can see with each season he was getting better. Like we saw like his last year in Dallas, like when Luka Doncic was out the playoffs, like how he took over for that team, was able to like help his team like gain like a playoff, lead in that first round before Luka came back and ultimately helped them win that series. But you can see like his maturation, his development. It's like, oh, he has more like a little something more than we thought. Like like he's more like he knows how to score like in this league. He knows how to get to his spots. He knows how to use his like his body, his strength to like get open and like create space for himself, and use his craftiness and his footwork to score. Like it's different than like because he's not like the most athletic or like the most
Right.
like the tallest or the strongest or whatever, but he just uses like his skill set, like his like I said, his
Yeah.
footwork, his body, his stream shot making all over the court. His ability to like see the floor. Like he's just a great has a
And
great
these
offensive
are guys
mind.
that I like. I think about. I'm like, I love these types of players. Like
Yeah.
this is how I feel about like Bryce Young, you know,
Hmm.
and even guys like in basketball, like Con Knipple. Like he's
Yep.
not the most athletic. He has some height. He's a little taller and sturdier than a lot of players, but like just his ability and feel for the game changes everything. That's what I love about Bryce Young, Conka Nipple, Jalen Coker. Although Jalen Coker does have a lot of explosion, he has thick quads, which is maybe why they got keep injured.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is still those type of players that like use their like brain more than their athleticism to help them, produce on the court or on the field, like you were saying, like you can tell like they're using their intelligence to help them, play well out there, produce at a high level. I think I like that about him, and like I said, he delivered. Like he's just become one of the most clutch players like we've ever seen in the playoffs. Like literally, like he's like led the league like in clutch points like the last 3 or 4 pro seasons or something like that.
Yeah,
He had 45 points in the closeout game in this series in Game 5 to help the Knicks win the series. He just took over like
that was
and
crazy. Yeah,
like
that
even in
was
this
the
game.
game winning. That was the series winning game.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like even in this game, like they were down early as they were every single game in this series. They were down early. And then in the second half, he just took over. He had 29 points in the second half. So I think he had what 15 or 16 points in the fourth quarter. Like when it's winning time, he just get the ball to him. He's like he's just gonna take us there. And he
Bro,
just made some of the most improbable shots.
I was thinking as I was watching the game, like seeing Jalen Brunson just like time in and time out, get the ball and not pass it. I'd be like at the TV, like, no, 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 they know it's gonna be you. And then he'd make it, and I'd be like, okay, all right, actually, that was a good decision.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can tell like he knows when it's his time. Like he just get to his spots, even if it's like you might even consider like a bad shot, but he just has so much confidence in himself, and he's gonna make those shots, in those
Even
moments.
the 3 pointer that OG on Benobi was able to like get in, it
Like second, yeah,
that was a great arc to even get it. Like it was close, and it made it so it came back and made the rebound and shot easier. It didn't just like brick in and fly.
yeah. It was a smart play because he had Wemby and like their Aaron Fox trying trying to trap him at that time so to get rid of the ball. But he said, hey, I'm just gonna shoot this quick so we can have a chance for a rebound or something at least.
Yeah,
Like
right.
like you said, the arc. I mean, that arc was key because he had Wimby ahead of him, so he had to get up high enough so Wimby wasn't able to like you guys block his
Yeah, I
shot.
mean he's
So
7'4".
yeah, so that was a great heads up play by him. And then Ananobi did the rest with hitting in that tip in, and like basically, I mean, they put them up 3-1, pretty much gave them everything they needed. Game five they were able to close the deal. It was, and then in that drought, that 53-year drought for the Knicks, which is a great story for them. And like you said, like we were talking about this earlier, like how they went 16-3 in the playoffs. They won 15 of their last 16 postseason games. I mean, they were dominant. It's one of the most dominant runs we've seen in a
Yeah,
while. You know.
Hurricanes and Knicks.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like they swept the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round. They swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. These are teams that we thought would
The
do
one
things
loss they had in
differently.
the series was like the one since the last loss they had in the playoffs. So like,
Yeah, exactly. Like their two losses. Like the losses was Game Three. It's the Spurs when they Wemby really played well, and the Spurs were able to close it out that game. You know, and then the other losses like early in the series, like literally the first two out of the three games, those are the first two losses came out in the first round against the Atlanta Hawks. Then they won like I don't know how many games in a row, 13 or 14 games in a row or something like that, something crazy like that.
yeah,
And like I said, they were just bludgeoning teams. They were beating teams. Like I think they had the best point differential in NBA history in the playoffs. Like they were winning, outscoring their opponents by 14.9 points per
I
game.
believe it.
So I mean, they did some incredible things. I mean, they're in the conversation with some of the best teams we ever seen, like the 98 Bulls. I mean, like the
Bro. That literally,
2017 Warriors. Like yeah,
man, like seeing their like playoff statistics, it like makes me so sad that the 2015 Panthers couldn't just finish
oh man,
that last game because we'd be up there like with just
with
like
the
some of the
greats.
craziest runs.
In sports history, really, yeah. So they'll
Yeah.
be up. They'll definitely be up there. Man, yeah, it hurt that they didn't were able to finish the job with that
Bro,
one.
I still to this day, like when I think about it, I'm like, all right, let's talk about something else.
Like this is talking about something else. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, the Knicks. They have, I think it was 12 double-digit wins in the playoffs. I think that's the tie for the most NBA history. Um, they just had such incredible numbers in this run. I mean, and so many players like contributed. Like everybody that played contributed in this on this team. It's clearly a team effort. Um, they from Jalen Brunson to Mikael Bridges to OG Ananobi to Karl Anthony Towns, um, to who else? Josh Hart. I mean, everybody contributed.
Pause it real quick. He
Yeah,
just
got
said,
you.
I
It just seemed like everyone that touched the floor like believed in the game plan, executed the game plan at a high level. Like I think like earlier in the playoffs, like it was only a couple games where they were struggling, but even then they weren't like playing through Karl Anthony Towns, and then like once they started playing through him more, they were able to move the ball and get better offensively. Get everybody more involved, give them everybody more touches. Like Mikael Bridges and OG Anunoby, like they shot like I mean they were shooting like over 50% from the floor. I mean it was crazy because the type of shots they were getting. I mean shooting outstanding from three. I think and OG shot like 49% from three for the playoffs. Like that's crazy to even think about. But everybody who could contribute. I mean, Mitchell Robinson came in the game, did his thing, like rebounded, and then he played through like that broken finger he had in the finals, but was still able to contribute. Um, I mean, you had guys like Landry Shamet coming off the bench and scoring. Who's Jose Alvarado in game
yeah,
four when he had some key
Brooklyn
plays.
zone, right? He's from
Yeah, like he had some key shots, some key rebounds in that critical game. Um, I mean, they just had everybody show up and you play at a high level. I mean, it was cool. I mean, to see how the way they were able to, um, gain that chemistry and just play off each other. And defensively they were locked in too. I mean, they were locking down and they were playing fearless, and then they had times where they were just locking down. You know, they never let like Wimby Lucas looked uncomfortable for like most of the series. Compared,
He
especially
did.
compared to like the OKC series. Like the OKC series, it seemed like he was like figuring it out. You know, then like it coming to this series, he thought he was gonna be more dominant. And, they were able to push him off his spots, make sure force him to shoot like threes, shoot jump shots, and not play like inside as much as he would like, or get to his spots as much as he would like. I mean, when he put ball on the floor, he would see bodies. I mean, they were poking at him. They were, trying to make him see, everybody. So
Yeah,
and then like defensively, even like when he was on defense, they weren't like scared to attack. You know how most players are scared to attack him because they go afraid he's gonna block his shot. But we saw like numerous times when OG Anunoby would go at him and dunk it, or like Brunson would go over, he would shoot over the top of him, or even Mikael Bridges. Even you see different players just not be afraid. Like you saw like times like Jose Alvarado would just like go drive at him. Just not being like afraid of his presence, or his gravity, the way he play other teams. But maybe he may get you sometimes, but even still, you just have to be aggressive. Just putting that pressure on him, because it just allows everything else to open up on the floor.
that
You know?
gravity.
Yeah, for sure, man. There was so many cool moments, I think, in the series. Like I said, Jalen Brunson was clutch. I think there's some crazy stats from this finals. Also, it says it's the only NBA Finals where every game was within 5 points in the last 5 minutes. Um,
Wow.
so it was crazy. It was a close series. Like, well, every game went down to the wire. Like I said, the Knicks were just better in the clutch. They were better at closing out these games. They had Jalen Brunson. They had OG Anunoby make key shots and key plays. Like everybody was contributing, was out there on the floor. It feel like Mike Brown was just pushing the right buttons at the right time. Like saying we need to have this lineup out there. We need to put this player in the game. To help.
I mean, and like you were saying with the whole team effort, I mean, Jose Alvarado, like Cat, like Jalen Brunson, like I
Hmm.
mean Mitchell Robinson,
Yeah.
like OG, like
Yeah.
with the hand of God. Like I mean, it's just every single player came at the right moment, like and it's an incredible thing to witness a team sport being played so efficiently.
Yeah. It seemed like this was the Knicks year. It was destiny.
Yeah,
It
right.
kind of felt like destiny. Like they were.
Bro, that's why I said Nixon 5 because it felt like destiny. That's
It
why.
did. It really did. Like everything went kind of like fell in place for them. They were playing the best basketball at the right time. They were playing the best team in the playoffs. Throughout. After those first couple of games in the first round. And it's kind of kept building from there. And it's like they just have supreme confidence once the finals came. Like they felt like nobody could beat them. Like they were inevitable. They like this is what they worked for. This was their year, and they saw the opportunity, because you don't get these too many opportunities. You might make the finals, you might not make it again. You never know. Think about all the teams before them who thought they were gonna be in the finals again. You know, you thought you gonna make it. You're like not even the team, like, the runner ups, like even the runner ups. You talk about how there's been 8 champions previous. I think there's only one team that's been to the finals like since they lost. Like the Celtics lost in 2022, and they were able to come back and win 2024. But the other teams went back to the finals. Like when you thinking about it, I mean, none of the other teams were able to come back. I think the Miami Heat played in 2020 and played in 2020, but they lost both. You know, so but you don't get these opportunities too many times. And you never know what's going to happen next year. You might not be as healthy as you were this year. You might not play as well. Another team may come out of nowhere, i.e. the Hornet. Maybe it's their year. You never know. You
Hey,
know what I'm
I'll
saying?
believe it. I would believe it. See, some people they lack imagination. Like I actually that do I think it's likely? No.
No,
But do
yeah,
I think it could happen? Yes.
sure. Nobody thought the Pacers were gonna make the run to the finals the year before either. So it's like it could be anybody's year. So you might not get this one. Maybe it's the only time the Knicks get to the finals, but they took advantage of it and they won it. So got to get them credit for that. I mean, they were there. They seized the moment. They felt it. Like, I mean, the fans were incredible. The fans were traveling all over. You know, it felt like New York City is like, I think, is it the biggest city in the United States? I forget, but
New York.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
it's
I mean, they have so many fans around the country and in their city that were rooting for them, and you kind of felt like this was the type of momentum they had, and this was their time. So it was cool for them for sure. Um, Also, I saw this other crazy stat. The Knicks they finished the playoffs 6-2 in games where they trailed by double digits. Um, that's the best playoff record for any team in the last 30 years. So I mean, think about like I said, like we talked about destiny and stuff, like how they're able to come back and have
the
resilience. And
comebacks were crazy, bro. I remember we were doing this show like a week or two ago.
oh yeah, you remember that? Yeah,
I
yeah,
was I was like, oh, bro, I don't even want to see the, I don't even want to
yeah,
see the
yeah.
rest of the game. And they ended up coming back and winning in like the greatest comeback. Because I was asking like how it was
Yeah,
going,
what
and
was the
it was like,
score?
yeah,
Yeah, what was the
they
score? And I
started
was like,
off
oh, they
down.
were
It
up
was
like
like
20 something.
15-7. And I was like, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah,
first quarter. And then like by halftime, they were down like 20 plus. And I was like,
yeah,
oh no. And then when we were like logging off, you said they were still down by like 20. And I was like, I'm not even going to watch this.
yeah.
On to the next game. And they ended up
They
winning.
came back every time. Every time they came back every time and made it a
Yeah.
close game. And they won four of them, I
Yeah.
mean, they were down by a lot in game one, came back, won by, I think they won by 11 in that series. Game two, they came back, won at the end of that game. Game three, they lost. But game four, they had the incredible 29-point comeback, you
Yeah.
know. Most teams would have folded. They would have said, hey, we lost this game. Let's just go ahead and get ready for the next game. But no, the Knicks, they kept coming at you. They kept throwing the haymakers. They kept fighting to the end. It's kind of inspiring. You think about it, like
Yeah.
like don't no matter what it looks like, keep going, keep fighting to the end until you're able to
Oh
win.
my gosh. You know
Overcome.
that Jalen Brunson quote? Zeron even quoted it during the parade.
Parade, yeah,
Yeah, the Jalen Brunson quote where he's like, "You're allowed to like think of the worst case scenario, but you have to do something about it." And I was like,
yeah,
"Bars."
yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's what they did. I mean, they fought to the very end every single game. Um, yeah, man, it was cool. Um, also the first team to win to the Knicks are the first team to win the championship and the Emirates Cup in the same year. So maybe that means
That's right.
that bodes
Yeah,
well for teams and
maybe
teams will
this is
maybe
a new thing.
start a trend. Maybe
And his dad, Jalen Brunson's dad, even said, "We're not going to hang up this one, this banner,
the Emirates Cup from
because
Banner.
we're waiting for the real one."
Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. Oh man, we talked about this before. We talked about this before we got on the fire, like how this was the most watched one since like 1998, since the last Bulls championship. Like
Yeah,
it was the most watched. I mean, so it was cool.
yeah, it was engaging,
Yeah. I mean, the
and it's a
Knicks.
fun brand of
Well,
basketball. Seeing these comebacks, that's crazy.
yeah, man. I
It
mean, you would
versus
like the
like the
Spurs to
OKC
play a little
Thunder
bit better,
with
but
the Jim.
yeah, but Knicks, yeah.
I
Go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, just versus the OKC Thunder, just like watching them flop their way to a victory. That's not fun. Who likes watching that? Who likes watching that? Like, you know,
Ethical basketball for the win, right?
yeah, right. Literally.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's cool to think about. Um, you know, and it makes you think like some teams may be closer than you think. Like teams that like are close, but you might think like, nah, man, they ain't a true
People were
contender.
literally saying that the Western Conference Finals was the actual championship. That whoever won out of
Shoot,
that,
that's what I thought. I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
did. But you know what I thought? Knicks. The
Knicks is five. Yeah, man.
odds were not in my favor. I'll say that, but it's
I mean,
so
they were
fun.
the underdog coming into the series, so yeah. I mean, the Spurs were favorite coming into the series, so
Yeah,
Knicks were able to do, with nobody. I wouldn't say nobody thought they would do, but nobody, thought they were gonna do it in like
the odds were not in their favor.
not in their favor. Like it wasn't the majority thinking they were gonna win. So I mean, it still goes to show you that you need more than youth. You like. the youth kind of caught up to the Spurs. Like, they don't have they. I mean, the veterans. This wasn't enough veterans on the team. You had Wemby, who's the great superstar who led him to all the way to there. But you gotta have veterans around him who have that type of experience that are ready, hungry, that are seasoned. Been through wars, been through some things to help get them to that thing. I think about how many things Cat had to go to get to this moment. And Jalen Brunson, and Mikael Bridges, Andrew, OG Ananobi, and Josh Hart. All these guys played for different teams, had all type of pitfalls and disappointments where they weren't able to play their best in the biggest moments and were had letdowns. And now they're able to take this time to get there. So it shows that you can't cheat the process. Like you have to be able to take those lumps.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good for Wimby in the long run too. Like you'll be able to learn from this. Move forward,
It's like
get
Drake
even
May,
better.
dude. It's so similar to Drake May. Like he was ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
Like honestly, he's a great player. That's going to be a great player for a long time. This was just not his year. They're young.
yeah.
It's a growing team. Like they're going to use it to come back stronger. I'm assuming maybe with Mike Rabel that might be a new a different thing.
Definitely in the Spurs case win because they have such a great organization in the
Yeah.
Spurs. They can continue to build. Dylan Harper, I thought was great throughout the series. He was so good. I mean, I thought that he should really play more than De'Aaron Fox because De'Aaron Fox, I don't know what he was doing out there. He was doing some weird stuff. Um,
Doing that weird Kylo.
I thought he was costing the Spurs in some big moments. I was just like, Darren Fox needs to sit down, needs to be benched. Play
Mhm.
Dylan Harper more, but I mean, they stuck with him, so you see it happens. But all in all, still was I thought it was a decent, I mean, a good series. All the games, like I said, went to the wire. So it
Oh
was
yeah.
cool. The Knicks
Even the
had
last one. The
credit.
last one was not even like people did like. I feel like
Yeah,
we're kind of missing out on the comeback that was. That was close to like that was like 15 points getting to like.
yeah. I mean, the story of the series where Spurs would get out early in the first quarter, go up double figures. And then, like in the second quarter, like the Knicks would kind of come back, make it close, going into like halftime, and then the third quarter, they would, break, dip into the lead a little bit more. And then the fourth quarter, it was like with the single digits, they would just take over. Other than game three, when the Spurs were able to hold on. But all the other
Yeah.
games, just Knicks just, kind of hunt them down and were able to, overcome them, every single time, other than game three. I mean, so it was interesting. But like I said, we talked about the resilience, the perseverance of their team and what they're able to do. But man, an incredible story for them. And, as to the heart, the tenacity, the toughness they showed throughout the playoffs. And it's got to be, like I said, teams got to be like, man, we got to make some moves. Like I think this will help the offseason. I think the NBA offseason is gonna be more, you know, spicy. I would say, like it's gonna be more moves made just because of like teams like this that win a championship. It's like, man, we might
Oh,
as
it's
well
gonna
see
be
what they think.
exciting. That's what I love. I love getting into the draft because of things like that, where it's like Jalen Brunson, a second round pick, and
Yeah,
even besides Carl Anthony Towns, he was the only one that was like high pedigree, you know.
yeah,
Like McCall
yeah,
Bridges was still like 17 overall. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it's fun to like delve into the draft after seeing a team like this. It gives you hope.
Absolutely. Does this start like the renaissance of the small guards? Who teams
Yeah.
are strategizing to get more small guards in there to help lead
But the
their
thing
team?
is, too, it's like, what do you bring to the table? Because, yeah, you could be small, but like Jalen Brunson just has one, the clutch ability, but then two,
Yeah,
incredible handles. Like, he has
incredible
handles.
handles.
He can drive. Like, he's
Yeah,
sturdy. Like,
yeah.
he's
He's such an intellectual player. Like has a high basketball
and the
IQ.
basketball IQ. I mean, you need that just at every position.
And like the confidence he has that he can make any shot on the court, the belief he has in himself and his teammates, and for them to be able to follow him,
You know
you
what's
know,
funny? basketball IQ could be like multiple things too, because like you see people like LaMelo and like their spatial awareness and like knowing is off the charts, but then he'll just do some of the dumbest stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah,
LaMelo, what are you thinking? Like
exactly. Like he has like Lamelo has a great feel for the game, but like sometimes his brain is
the
going
IQ is not just yeah,
haywire. Or I guess
he's like not
sometimes.
even paying attention, not even thinking about it. Like
Yeah, yeah. So the focus sometimes isn't there, but that's he
focus,
can get
that's
there.
probably yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I think, like you said, you gotta have some of those intangibles that he has if you're gonna be a small guard because, it's still some disadvantages. Like you might not like the defense, might be an issue or like even like getting your shot off, but you have to be able to, get to your spots, have like be able to create space in a significant ways to help create open so you can get open to shoot and
yeah.
also just be, like I said, footwork and just being able to use the glass in different ways. Like this is a different type of scoring ability you have to be able to do something that size.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so I think there's some guards in this draft who I think could possibly be in that type of you know mold like Jalen Brunson, but you never know until you see it, in like real time because college is different than the NBA, so you never know.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you go to the right team with the right pieces around you, the right coach. I mean, even Mike Brown, like his story is kind of cool to think about it. Like think about where
Bro,
he
I
started.
literally like was doing a deep dive on Mike Brown. And I was like, oh my gosh, this dude like he keeps doing things very well and then getting fired. Like
Yeah, absolutely. And think about it, he like full circle kind of like he was a assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs to start out.
that's right.
And then he became the Cleveland head coach, Coach LeBron. Was able to
Yeah,
learn from
LeBron
that.
said to the all the way to the finals too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, then he went to he had the Lakers job and the Sacramento
And he was
job.
there. He was there with the Warriors as well.
The Warriors went and learned
Their,
there. I
their
mean, that was
glory years.
probably yeah. I mean, he when he was able to win championship with them as an assistant coach. So I think that type of like he was able to learn. Now he's able to take what he learned over these last few years. I mean, he went to Sacramento afterwards, and they had success as well. And then he's able to take those experiences now. Like the Knicks have the right team, just the right type of mixture of players, and he was able to lead those guys to victory. Lead them to the highest level.
Yeah,
I think that's a great story for him because he's been knocking on the door so long as a head coach in the league. Be able to get this moment for him is cool. Like he has a great energy to him. You can tell he loves basketball, loves the players. It's a guy that he gets out there. Like I seen clips of him like being involved, like so involved in practice, like him actually like doing like running on the court, doing suicide, like doing like defensive slides and stuff, like
yeah,
getting involved. Like
yeah,
so, he's into it. He loves it. Like he has a passion for it. So it's cool to see guys like that win. I think that's cool. A cool story for anybody. Who's following. But man, like we said, man, it's cool. I mean, the Knicks, they definitely did the impossible. I don't think, like I said, anything is possible. That's why we love sports, man. Like we talked about, it, like we love sports just because of stories like this. You know, like we said, it's like so many teams this year, that won that we didn't expect like this. Nobody expected the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl in the NFL, like coming into this year. Like people was like, oh, they may have a chance, maybe they're a playoff contender, but they're not really gonna do it. They got Sam Darnold at quarterback. And like everybody's like, nah, he's not ready
and
to shake
and
it up.
the Panthers game to come to the wire that it did against the Rams and have Jalen Coker standing there amidst the crowd, arms up, like bro, like there's so much magic that could be, you sell yourself short if you're saying this can't happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like anything can happen. That's why we love sports, man. The storylines, the stories, it'd be cool to watch. You know, it makes you believe in different types of things. I feel
In
like that's
sports
why
and politics. But keep
as that's why as fans we so invested in our teams because we believe that anything can happen if the right thing goes our way. Like this could be the outcome. So it's like
yeah,
we think about it in that type of way. And it's like, man, like, come on, man. Like, that's why we be wanting our GMs to make, like, just make this one move. This can help us move the
right?
needle, this one move here. There's one player here. Like get the right coach in there. Like you know,
That's why the draft process and even free agency signing and undrafted free agents like Jalen Coker was like all of these team building things are so
hmm
fun to watch because it's like okay, any one of these could be the Jalen Brunson of our team, like
yeah,
who's to
yeah,
say, you don't know.
exactly. Man, it's definitely anything can happen. It's like the future. You're thinking to yourself, like I'm sure fan bases all over the world are thinking like, all right, let's lock in. Like we make this one move here, we make this one transaction. Like maybe we can get to it. Like the Knicks can do it, maybe we can do it. We're right there. We're so close. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely thinking. I mean, this is gonna be a cool offseason altogether, especially NBA wise. I mean, the NFL offseason has already been cool, dope to see. I mean, we're getting closer with that, but the NBA offseason, I think it's gonna be full of moves. Like we got that Giannis move that's been looming forever. We hearing all the rumors where he could go. Miami, Boston, Golden State,
maybe Charlotte.
Lakers, Minnesota, Charlotte. Like all these teams, like it just changes everything when you have moves. It's like kind of like how the Carl Anthony Towns, moved to the Knicks, and the Mikael Bridges moved to the Knicks, and Jalen Brunson. Like, will stars be like? I'm sure teams are gonna be like, "Hey, man, you saw what Jalen Brunson did. He took that pay cut. You might can we get that type of can you do that for us? What he did, since he did that, he's able to build the right team. I'm sure those conversations are being had.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be interesting. I definitely think it's gonna be fun all season, man. It's great. But man, we got the draft coming up, man. Shoot, I think it's what? I think it's the 23rd. Is it that? That's the first
Tuesday,
day. Tuesday, whatever that day is.
first round. Yeah,
The
Tuesday.
23rd, the 23rd, because it's the day after my birthday. My birthday's Monday, so Tuesday is
Oh,
the 23rd. So yeah, yeah. So got that right. But man, I think it's gonna be a cool draft. John, you know, what have you seen anything lately? Anything new with the Hornets as far as like what direction you think they might go in? Are they leaning towards trade? Are they like, thinking
well,
are they just gonna draft where they are? What do you think they're thinking right
since since what we talked about last week, I don't think there's any additional real news, but
now?
I have been seeing some links to Morez Johnson Jr., one of the players that we talked about before, even
Yeah,
going as early as 14.
yeah,
So
right.
to us, so I've it's funny because I just like learned about him maybe like a day or two before like the last episode, and I spoke
hmm
about him, and now I'm hearing more and more and more about it. It just is coming up more and more in connection to the Charlotte Hornets. Obviously, the other Michigan guys are being favorably viewed, like
Yeah,
Yaxel
Vandenberg and Ademar.
and Mara, yeah, the big men.
hmm
So I definitely think if we have an opportunity at any one of those at 14, that would be our pick. In terms of bunching them together, I think there would have to be an offer that would. It's not like Mitch Kupchak that's just giving away picks, Like it would have to be a great offer
He's
to,
gonna have to
to
put some thought into it.
yeah, to bunch them up and trade up, or even to trade one of them for an expiring contract or something. Like, yeah, I think we're more likely to stay than not.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think it's interesting because they have different options, like you said, like staying and taking two great players at those two picks with 14 and 18. They can help the team now. Obviously, they can make it. They can package it together, and move up to like I don't know, probably 10, 8 maybe.
Yeah,
I've seen something like maybe some people say like they can maybe move up to 7. You know, I think if they were in that range, they probably like Mara. Probably looking at Mara or Lindenberg. I'm sure they're interested in. Um, at that position, I think I seen them linked to like I saw something like Braden Burris, but even though like I don't think they need a guard right now. I just think they need to be focusing on forwards and the center really. I mean, then like if they wanted to take one
I
like
know that Jeff Peterson said that he likes the guards in the draft, so that could mean anything. But he
yeah,
says this is a very deep guard class. I think our
yeah,
number one priority is re-signing Kobe White.
Yeah,
and then after that, maybe we'll see what we can do.
yeah. And then like I said, them going like they go with Marez, they probably can get like maybe like Mara or maybe like Sinek or Steinbach. These are all bigs that they could use. They could be in that center rotation. Also, I guess Cameron Carr. I think guys like um, Swain, like Dalen Swain, I think are options as well. I think they could be good options off the bench for sure. I think I talked about Nate Mint. Although Nate Mint looks like his stock is kind of rising, so I don't know if he'll be there at 14 anymore. But
Mm,
um, he could be a good option if they were, to take someone like that. If he was there at 14, I think he'll be a good option for him as
man.
well. As far as like an upside type of pick, where you're thinking that he could develop into something really good.
If I remember correctly, I think I saw a Reddit post about how people were like, "Please don't take him because he's just going to be an upside swing, and like we can't afford another one like we have
Yeah,
Saloon
I think I trust this. Like, if they would take a move like that, I think I trust this organization or this like
to
coaching
develop."
staff more than like more than the other one. If we actually see he has actual talent, like where he's actually showed like that he can play. Like before, when you swinging on guys like Saloon, like we've never seen him do anything like productive at any level. No offense to him, but it's even even wherever he wasn't like he wasn't dominating or nothing. Like it wasn't like a stretch where he was averaging like 25 or 30. Like last year we saw like Nate Mint had a stretch where he was averaging like 25, like 30 in like 6 or 7 straight games. Like we seen it. We see these how talented he was. And before we came to college, he was a projected top 5 pick. So we know he has that type of talent. Saloon, he came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody else was probably had him that high on their boards, like TJ Saloon or whatever his name is.
There were rumors that the Spurs actually did just that singular team, but like, yeah, it was interesting to
Well,
see. Yeah,
they're
just
probably better at developing those type of players than
that's why. That's why we
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like more raw than that. They have a better track record than the ones at that.
because
That's
they're
why
the
I get nervous.
develop. They're the team that does develop.
Yeah, that's why I get nervous when I see stuff like Kareem Lopez like linked to the Hornets. I'm like,
Oh, bro, no, that scares me. Get that away. Nope, 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 nope.
I'm like, I don't think that'd be a good move for the Hornets to get him. I mean, he's too raw to me.
Man,
Like
I
he
would
has no
love
offense
to see.
ability.
I would love to see the opposite, like somebody that's 24. Yex,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
Yexel could like come in and just be like a Miles Bridges replacement, bro, I would love that.
yeah. And he could probably, I think he possibly could be better. Like
That's
Yax
what I'm
is.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I would definitely go with him over Kareem. At any point because I'm
Yeah.
like, 'cause that's just like a. I just don't see it with him. I just don't. I watch him. It's tape. I'm just like, eh. Like I don't know. When you're not producing at a high level overseas. I can say
It
I don't like it.
reminds me so much of like watching the draft, like the NFL draft, like which is like my favorite time, and
Yeah,
seeing just players that have everything that you want, and you're like salivating about their potential, but then you look at their tape and it's like you need to be good at the sport first,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and if you're just not good at the sport, then like what are we talking about here? Like
Exactly. It's like I, everything can be based off potential. It's not like can he play? Like no, he might can play. Like might like I see him like he's long, he's got length, but he never like put. Well, did he ever guard? Like did he ever like defend at a high level? No, but you can see it in him. You can see it like he has it out there. You
yeah,
don't see him on the court.
he looks like
Like
he
he
could.
just does. Yeah, he looks like he could. Dude has no offensive game whatsoever. I looked at his offensive game. I was watching. I was like, God, this dude can't do anything offensively. Kind of reminds you of Saloon in that way. I'm like, he just looks lost on the court. I'm like, yo,
Bambi. You
like you can't draft nobody else like that. The Hornets have too many
already
guys
have one.
past
All right, like one at a time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta if you yeah you that should be the rule. That should be the rule. If you haven't developed the last player that you had like that, you can't draft another one. That should definitely be the rule. I mean, for sure. So I don't want
Unless
the
their
Hornets to do that.
upside is just undeniable, like Giannis.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't see it. I don't see Giannis. Somebody
Yeah.
said like somebody. I think somebody did say he might have play like Jokic one day, and I was like, okay, I don't see that
Jokic, yeah, the second round draft pick, bro. Like, it's not like Jokic was like highly sought after. He is a once in a generation talent.
either.
Like, LOL.
Yeah. But yeah, the Hornets should be looking at players that can really help them now because they're moving like in a direction where it's to the point where or guys like with upside, like you, like legit upside, that they really can see like at this very moment, like they could actually see this guy in their system on their team that can actually go out there and produce at a high level because they're moving in a direction where they have a chance where they can do some things in the East. The way they finished in like the last part of the season where they had one of the best records in the NBA last
Yeah.
couple months or whatever. So it's like I mean, you're not really in like full rebuild mode anymore, so it's not like you need to like take a bunch of darts and like up guys with I guess like you had to develop them type of guys. Like you're more like in like okay, this could be the missing piece that we need to even take us even to a higher level. But I've seen like the trade targets that we talked about. I mean, we talked about Giannis, like that's probably far fetched.
Yeah.
We've seen some, the
It's going to
Montes
be expensive
Sabonis.
at least.
Yeah, we've seen the Montes Sabonis. I don't know if they should really go after him just because I don't know how much capital the Knicks want for him. And he's kind of like, even though he would be a decent fit with the Hornets, I think he's still kind of flawed. What they would need. I feel like they need more of like a defensive presence more than like an offensive presence because they got enough offensive like with between Miller and Brandon Miller and LaMelo and Khan. Even Miles Bridges, but I mean, he can help, but it's just be like you don't want a defensive liability technically
Yeah.
at your center position. You talked
Oh, no,
about
you need
Bam,
more physicality and defensiveness, most
yeah.
certainly.
I think we talked about Bam, but probably take too much to get him. See him rumored with the Hornets. Laurie marketing would be interesting, I think, but I don't know. But the one thing about the Jazz is they want so much for certain players. It'd be like it's like this dude isn't even worth it. Remember how much they got asked for Rudy Gobert back in the day? Like it was like 5, 6 first round draft picks or something that they got for Rudy from Minnesota for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
They'd be asking for a lot for those type of players. So, but I definitely he could definitely be an upgrade over Miles Bridges as far as like a score. He isn't like he's not like a cone defensively, but you can probably use him in that way.
I
Um,
just couldn't stop hearing what's going on in Utah.
what's going on and down there. But yeah, he definitely could take the offense to another level. I mean, he's a great shooter, great. I mean, he's good, really good as like take you out and dribble, do different things offense. He definitely makes your offense more dynamic. But once again, we probably think that the Hornets probably are looking for more defensive players that can, complement their offensive players they already have. I see Michael Porter Jr. like, linked to them. I mean, he could be interesting. He's not really. He shows like in moments that he could good fit. He's not really like his like greatest ability. Like it's more like offense, he's more offensive minded, like shooting, scoring. He's a great rebounder though, so that does help. Um, but he played. He's right now with the Nets. I mean, we'll see what they do with that. I seen also another player, Aaron Gordon. Now he would be in the. I would really like him for the Hornets, but he's been injury prone a little bit over the last couple of seasons. I don't know if they really should go in that type of direction. And
Yeah,
he's
I
like
wouldn't trust any injury prone player for the Hornets at all. I mean, we've had enough injury bad luck over the last
yeah,
like
and he's kind of like getting up there in age too as well. He's probably like 32, 33 now, so it's kind of like
nah, that's not
one of the
I
older
mean,
they would like.
that's not on our timeline, you know.
Yeah, I mean he would be a great addition if he was healthy. If he showed like he could be healthy, kind of like LeBron, how he was like in his 30s. Like he was never injured in his 30s. But when you have already an injury prone player coming in, you don't really want that. He would be a good
It's
fit.
not necessarily the age itself, it's the age in history.
Yeah. Um, how would you feel about Zion? I mean, they say he might be linked to. What do
Talking
you
about
think about?
walking injuries. Nope. I mean, I would try him out for free, but no
Yeah, if
way,
they depend
no
like
way I'm
giving
giving
like
up.
significant capital for him. Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. I saw someone today like I see him in this link too, but somebody today was like showing his highlights, and somebody's like that I watched like I seen like their like platform watch stuff like on their platform. It's like, oh, he would be perfect for the Hornets. I was like, in theory, if he
In
was
theory,
ever like
right? Yeah. I mean, hypothetically.
if he was ever consistently healthy and at the right weight consistently, yeah, he would be good. But he's never there.
Bro,
He's
he's
always
always overweight and also always injured. And then when he
yeah
is playing, I mean, he plays well, but like not well enough to like
yeah
really
like
like
blow
be
your socks
worth
off.
all of that. Like he plays really well, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
like not well enough to like with all the money and the variables, like it's not somebody you really want.
You would need like I think the Hornets would be a good fit for him, but you would need to, if you got Zion, you would have to have a defensive center like in there, somebody who's already kind of like a Jaron Duran type. Like you would need a defensive center because he does even with his you know offense ability with him playing well offensively, he isn't good defensively. Like he just have those lapses on defense where he's just like letting guys go past him, or he's not like, and he isn't the best rebounder. I still don't know why he isn't a double figure rebounder to this day. I'm like, why are you like all the athleticism he has, and he doesn't like average double digit rebounds? I just still don't understand that. But but he's a great offensive player. Like I said, you can run your offense through him. Like he's a great scorer around the rim. He's super efficient. Can pass really well. Great in transition. But man, I'm telling you, I mean, defensively, you're gonna have to have guys who are already out there defend at a high level, and the rebounding portion just like this blows me away with that. But man, yeah, man, those. Oh yeah, one more, Paulo Banchero. How would you feel about that?
I mean, that's like one of the premium guys. Like, that would be
Yeah,
nice. I would try him out too. Like, I mean,
now that would be good. I would like that for the Hornets, but I don't know how much capital they would ask for. It'd probably be significant. But if he were, you know, they would have, you know, when the asking price wouldn't be too much for him. I mean, I would try. I would definitely put something out there for him.
I'd be down for that. I'd be down to try it out. But obviously, like, I'm not getting rid of these are the things. A lot of trades that I see just casually throw around LaMelo or Brandon Miller or
Yeah,
Han.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be depending on what they're asking for
And
sure.
I'm like, bro, no, you're not getting any of those. That's our core. What are you talking? Like, oh, can
Yeah,
we just get Jalen Brunson? Like, I mean, that's your core. What are you talking about? Like,
exactly. Yeah, it's definitely it's strange. Yeah, because like I said, they definitely will probably ask for one of those. I'm sure they would ask for one of those guys in return for him. And, that's I mean the Hornets got a lot of picks, so I mean how interested are they in picks? It probably had to be a third team involved, kind of like the Giannis thing when I was talking about. I was like, because the Hornets don't want to give up their core, so I'll be like, man, you had to get a third team involved because I mean the Hornets had the picks. I mean they had the picks as far as capital to get like that type of player, but you know another team had to put in like one of their young players. The Hornets are not willing to give any of theirs. I mean they have
yeah,
such a good thing going. It's like can they get somebody that can help them on the margins?
right.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, and I'm thinking like,
by having to get a lot.
I don't want to disrupt what we have going. Like, we
Hmm.
just have something good going. And even getting rid of Miles Bridges and replacing him, I think that doesn't come without risks. Like, I just
Yeah,
feel like this team
it had to be a
can,
player that's already better than him right now.
yeah. That's kind of why I kind of like Yaxa a little bit, just because I feel like
You can have
his
both of
game
them like doing similar
and
production.
it's so similar, and he can have a little bit more upside. You know, he
Yeah,
would
he can
just be a
show them the
perfect play.
ropes.
I wouldn't be
Hmm.
surprised if we didn't trade up for him.
Yeah, so like I said, the Hornets got a lot of options. They could, direction they could go in. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like I said, draft is on Tuesday. Tuesday, and then the first round is on Tuesday. Second round is on Wednesday. Still don't know why they add the extra day. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me. But whatever.
Money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
money. Obviously, it's money because nobody's not going. They're not gonna get high ratings from that. I'm telling you right now. Um, unless there's some trades. If there's some trades, maybe people will tune in. But otherwise, the first round will be a lot of people watch the first round. The second round, we'll see. But like I said, the draft is Tuesday. We're excited about that, man. Like I said, this draft is so talented. The top four, man, franchise players, full of franchise players. You got AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson, all franchise players. Then, like I said, the guards are so good. You got
The
Akron, Simmons, and
what is it?
Wagler,
The is it the
Mikael
who
Bradley
has number
Beal.
4? The Cavaliers or the Bulls?
The Bulls has four. Yeah,
They have the easiest pick.
yeah, they can just pick who's ever left from
Yep.
whoever's left. Yeah, yep. I mean, because I'm sure the Wizards have going back and forth for who they should draft between Boozer and Devontae and Darren Peterson. They're like, oh man, who should we draft? Same thing with the Jazz. Um, and then Memphis. So it's interesting. I'm definitely intrigued to see how what order it goes in. I mean, what do you if you had those top four picks? I mean, you're gonna get a franchise player for sure.
Yeah.
And then I think even at five, you got some good options like with Akon, Mikael Brown, and Keaton Wagler. You know, like I said, it's some great players in this draft. Man, I'm excited to see what happens with this draft for sure. Man, Johnny, last words before we get out of here.
Hey, I'm excited to see this draft too. I feel like the Hornets have the ability to do something with these two picks because the last time
Mhm.
we had it, we were mismanaged with the
Yeah,
Jalen Duran
so
and
intrigued to see what they do. I
yeah,
hope they get two great players or one great player, that can really
yeah,
do it.
yeah, exactly. Package them, move up, get another franchise guy. Like I feel like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be great. I
And
think. Go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just saying, but I think by the time we get back, by the time we pod again, the Giannis deal should be made. So that'll be fun to talk about too.
Oh, dude. If we can get Giannis, bro, I don't want to get rid of any of the core players, but if we can get Giannis, that would be incredible.
I'm just saying, I don't know where he's going, but people believe that he's gonna be traded by the end of the draft, so that should be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe like Boston.
Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. But what were you saying before?
Oh, I was just saying to the audience that's listening, if you happen to be watching before, there are a lot of primary votes going on across various states on Tuesday. So get out and vote. Do your research and vote.
Yeah, man, do your research for sure,
Yeah.
man. Great things going on all around. Like I said, we're fully in the off season now. I mean, no sports really going on right now. I mean, no disrespect to any of the baseball fans. Oh yeah, WNBA fans out there. I'll tune into the WNBA. I ain't gonna lie. I've been to a few games. So I don't mind.
Hey, that
Oh, I went
sounds
to my first WNBA game this year, so that was cool. But
that actually would be fun. I would not be like that sounds like a cool time.
yeah, definitely. So I mean, but you know what I mean, the major sports. The things that we
Right.
live and breathe by.
The
NFL,
big
NBA, college football, college basketball. That's what we live on. That's what we're talking about.
uh
We're in the all season with those things.
hopefully the NHL now. That's
Yeah, yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe we get into some, tennis, golf. Maybe
yeah, right.
we'll try those out. Yeah, maybe someone interests us with that. But man, as we always get out of here, as we always say, go Panthers, go Colts, go Hornets, go Hurricanes. Y'all have a great week.